Welcome to Luncheon at the Music Center. This KFAC feature brings you music and interviews with prominent national, international, and Southern California personalities as they meet for Luncheon at the Music Center.
This is Thomas Cassidy speaking to you from the Pavilion Restaurant of the New Music Center, where we invite you to join us once again for Luncheon at the Music Center. Today we have another of the delightful stars from the San Francisco Opera, another great soprano from Australia, Marie Collier. From Australia, Marie Collier. Welcome to Luncheon at the Music Center, Marie.
Thank you very much indeed.
You had quite a press recently because of a substitution. Is this common for success in opera singers?
I don't think so. It's something terribly embarrassing in a way, but this sort of volume of press that I had and the extent to which it went, really. I'd been at Covent Garden already as a principal soprano for nearly 8 years.
Yes.
I'd done the same production a year previously, but with different fellow singers. I was in the process of preparing The Angel of Fire. I'd been released, of Prokofiev, I'd been released from the Garden. And I was just called back to do a role that I'd done before.
Yes.
And the extent of the press, once again, was terrific because, you see, we don't have what you call American type press in England. It's all very much more conservative. Also, no press agents or anyone were involved in this. This was just a sort of a snowballing effect. And I just feel embarrassed.
Well, but didn't this trigger things for your career, Marie?
Yes, it did, in a way, because there are lots of places that I'm going to now that I hadn't been before, even though previously I'd been to Zagreb, Paris, Buenos Aires, San Francisco, of course.
Now, you did for the San Francisco Opera Katerina Ismailova?
That's right, last year.
Now, how did this come about, your being cast in this new production of this sort?
Well, I had done the Western premiere of the work in the Western world at Covent Garden.
Yes.
And Shostakovich came and supervised the performances there. And I don't know, maybe they thought if I had made a success of it there, perhaps I was a logical person to ask to do it here. A different production and a marvelous one here.
Now, that is quite a unique thing in our present day, to have the opportunity to work and learn an operatic role with the composer.
Yes, he supervised the final parts, the final polishing of it.
Now, what does the composer bring to you when you're working on a performance like that that you have to find for yourself normally when you study an operatic role?
He doesn't bring a great deal, I should say, because if he writes very clearly, and his metronome markings are such and his expression marks, if you've worked yourself into it for a while, you find that more or less you coincide. He must just say to you, not so much ritenuto there, or a little quicker here, or I meant this metronome marking. When you say this is terribly fast, he says, I really meant it at 112 to the crotchet or something like that. But the nicest thing that Shostakovich said after the first night of Katerina, and I think he was highly nervous as to whether it would be a success or not, he said, you are a Russian woman inside.
Well, that's marvelous. Do you have any Russian background in your family, Marie?
No. No, none whatsoever.
Now, how does, we've all been excited through the past few years with the phenomenal success of Joan Sutherland from Australia and what she has done to pull our attention to Australia as a music center.
Yes.
Now, is there a great feeling for music in Australia?
I think you would say that there's a sort of a native feeling for music in Australia, instinctive feeling, but there's still quite a lot to be done in fostering it. For example, in America, you're much, much more fortunate in the number of opera houses that you have, and consequently, young American singers have a great deal more opportunity in proving themselves or having the opportunity to perform. In Australia, really, there's only one or two companies, both under the auspices of the Elizabethan Theatre Trust. There are no permanent opera houses. You go to a commercial theatre in between a musical, on a spare date. The distances are enormous,
yes.
The transport cost, and the population only 11 million.
Well, how does a young person like yourself become interested in singing or interested in the operatic world in this climate?
I think I was brainwashed by my singing teacher, but I was always interested in theatre, in singing and acting. I'd had a small stint in musicals, for which I thank my feeling. I have to thank that my feeling for professionalism in theatre or in opera, I think, because it's a pretty hard school. But that wasn't sufficient. It's not satisfying enough.
Yes. Well, Marie, I think I'll let you rest a while because our audience who were in San Diego will realize that you did La Fanciulla del West last evening in San Diego.
Gorgeous theatre.
And here you are bright and starry-eyed today for our program. And you will be doing it again on Saturday night of this week.
Yes, I will.
I would. But during the San Francisco opera season, Marie Collier is singing The Girl of the Golden West, which she sang last night in San Diego. She's doing Musetta in La Bohème twice. And the following night, after the 25th, she's also doing Tosca. Marie, are they going to class you as strictly a Puccini soprano?
Well, the intention seems to be to do so, but I also do a lot of modern works, and I think the reason why, in some respects, people think of me as a Puccini soprano, it's got something to do with the color of the voice, I guess, and also the fact that Puccini, in general, requires a great deal more acting ability than, say, for example, Verdi.
Now, from what I hear, you bring special things into your performance of Minnie in Girl of the Golden West. This is not one of the better-known Puccini operas,
no.
But there are certain facets of this role that you have studied particularly.
Well, yes, I've studied it particularly musically. I think as far as the acting is concerned, the fact that I'm an Australian and pretty simple person at heart helps. Also, from the musical point of view, I studied it just after I left Australia about 10 years ago in Italy, where I went to work on repertoire. And I've wanted to sing it ever since. There was not an opportunity in England. And when Mr. Adler asked me to do it, of course, I seized the opportunity and I went to Rome to study it with Maestro Luigi Ricci.
Oh, yes.
Who had been a friend and associate of Puccini himself, and has written quite a very interesting book in Italian about the different works of Puccini and how he wanted certain things altered which perhaps have not been put into scores as they're printed these days.
Yes.
The original Puccini, or I should say the ultimate Puccini intentions as far as his roles were concerned.
Well, this is the first time I'd seen that book when you brought it down today. It's a very interesting book.
Yes, it is.
I think it should be done in English.
It could be of great interest,
yes, you bet. Not only of great interest, but it would help a lot of American singers, I think, in
perhaps in
getting in this feeling.
Yes.
Now, did you have a lot of fun horsing around last night in San Diego?
Oh, horsing. I had a delightful horse called Chocolate. I always find that the most terrifying part of the opera. In fact, in some respects, it's like childbirth. That once you start, it has to finish, the sort of thing. But I get on the horse. I don't ride.
You don't?
No, I can get on a horse, and I've found that I was told last night a new way to get off, so Los Angeles will see my new way of getting off a horse.
Now, how many performances of this have you done with the San Francisco Opera this year?
Including last night, only 3. So this is 3 in all my life. And it's quite a pleasure to be singing with Franco Corelli, whom I saw performing this role at La Scala 11 years ago.
Yes. Now, what does your schedule take you to following your appearances with the San Francisco Opera, Marie?
Well, I think I'll have to have a sort of magic carpet to get me from place to place. I shall say, I won't tell you the times involved,
no.
But Houston after Los Angeles, then London for a day, then Monte Carlo, then back to London, then Vienna, Athens, Montreal, Palermo. Maybe Vienna again, I don't think so. But London, and then Buenos Aires, and then Vancouver. And then we go to 67 when I'm going to the New Metropolitan.
Oh, boy. Now, during this whole tour that you're doing, do you do mostly the same operas in each locale, or how many different operas will you do?
I'll be doing, depending, Houston and Monte Carlo Tosca, Athens Tosca, Montreal Tosca, Palermo Fanciulla del West, Vienna Tosca, Buenos Aires, the Angel of Fire of Prokofiev in Italian, and Aida, which I have never sung before.
Oh, that will be exciting.
It will be interesting. I've got a long time to work on it too.
Very good.
And in Vancouver, the double bill, both parts, the Santurce in Cavalleria Rusticana and Neda in Pagliacci.
Now, that is very seldom done.
Yes, I have done both of them separately, both in the Zeffirelli productions at Covent Garden, but never on the one evening.
Aren't they asking a lot?
No,
not that you can't do it, but I
it,
think that is quite a
do
challenge.
It the way I would like to do it too,
I
which
see.
is Pagliacci first and Cavalleria second.
I see. Now, this opera of Prokofiev's is another one of the importations or outportations from Russia. In other words,
yes, it is.
The Angel of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does this compare in any way with the Katerina Ismailova?
No, not at all. Neither musically nor dramatically.
And
it's an allegory dramatically.
Now, have you performed this role before?
Yes, I have. I did 3 performances in London, and they were very successful. I think it is the most difficult role I have ever done, both vocally and dramatically. If one wants to sing it as well as it should be sung and perform it the way I think it should be performed, it's practically an impossible role.
Now, is there a possibility that we may, those of us who are opera lovers and buy recordings, that we may have recordings of both Katerina and the Angel of Fire in the future?
I don't know, because the Angel of Fire was recorded in French,
yes,
but only on a sort of a limited collection,
yes,
with, what is the name of this work? An American girl. I've just forgotten her name.
I forget it too.
My dreaded memory. But Katerina hasn't been recorded.
I see. I think it should. This, particularly with you doing the role, because we all remember from last year the Katerina, and with this knowledge here in the western part of the United States and also in London, you know, the word gets around.
I guess. I've just remembered the American girl's name, Jane Rhodes.
Oh, yes. You have been specializing in Puccini and these very way-out operas such as Katerina Ismailova and the Angel of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any others that you would like to do for us here that you haven't done here?
Yes, there's one work that was highly successful. It's a very economical work as far as the numbers of the cast are concerned. They're very few. The chorus of hidden voices, male voices at the very end. It requires a jolly good orchestra like the San Francisco Symphony or Los Angeles Orchestra. The Macropolis case of Janacek.
Yes, this is one of several of his operas that we don't know about in this country.
Yes, of course. Norman Tucker, the director of Sadler's Wells, has been a great fanatic and fan of Janacek works.
Yes.
And he's introduced them to the London public. Raphael Kubelik introduced Yanufa at Covent Garden, but the rest of the works, Katya Kabanova, the Macropolis case, The Cunning Little Vixen, and now The House of the Dead is being presented. The House of the Dead is being presented at the moment at Sadler's Wells.
Yes.
And I have done both Katya Kabanova and Macropolis case.
Well, this would be very interesting to have these in the repertoire here, wouldn't it?
It's beautiful music, you know.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Well, Mari, the time goes so fast.
I'm sorry.
I would like to give you a gift from Jurgensen's Grocery Company, our elite grocers here locally,
Gosh.
as a remembrance of your appearance on Luncheon at the Music Center.
Thank you so much.
And this is with the hope that one day when you return that we may have you on our program again.
I would love to come.
And we hope
It's been a
that
pleasure.
all of Los Angeles will be at your feet, I'm sure,
Thank
for
you.
the coming performances of The Girl of the Golden West, Musetta in La Bohème twice, and Tosca. We'll be looking forward to it, Mari, and thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you, Tom.